Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Todd Golub, Director of the Broad Institute, and it's just a thrill and an honor to celebrate the Richard N. Merkin Prize in Biomedical Technology with all of you here today. We all are cognizant of the fact that discovery does not occur without the invention of technologies. And I'd like now to officially say that this is the moment in which, for his development of the T7 expression technology, F. William Studier is the recipient of the second award of the Merkin Prize.
Challenging himself to depart from current habits, challenging conventional wisdom. That's what this award, this honor is about. And Bill, you're the epitome of that. What you have done, the millions of people that you have helped, the biomedicine that has changed because of you. I am so proud and I am so grateful that we're in a position to honor you.
I think it's a great idea to recognize science. I think it's a great idea to recognize people who have made a difference that not everyone would know about.
Dr. Studier developed a system that allows proteins to be made in very large quantities. It allows companies to synthesize drugs and RNA vaccines and other therapeutics so that we can use that as treatments for people. It's just an extraordinary discovery.
Bill's work is so ubiquitous. Every lab uses it, and yet they're unaware that he was the mind behind a lot of those discoveries and inventions. We've chosen for this symposium some really interesting illustrative examples to show the diversity of T7.
Anyone that's run a gel, expressed a protein, or had an mRNA vaccine, could you raise your hand? With COVID, in the pandemic, Moderna and Pfizer set about developing an mRNA vaccine. Well, they used a scaled-up version of Bill's T7 production and averted 140,000 deaths and saved more than $900 billion, almost $1 trillion in healthcare costs.
T7 has enabled a lot of science, but in the context of outbreaks, that scale and that speed is ever more important.
The discovery of T7 and its ability to make RNA at industrial scale was just as foundational for our ability to make mRNA medicines. For the COVID-19 vaccines from Moderna, we've made over 1 billion doses. So T7 has really is proved to be the workhorse for making mRNA medicines.
The beauty of T7 is it's like a single component, very well-contained system. It's a monomeric polymerase. A couple years ago now, we had this idea of using T7 polymerase as a way to elevate the mutation in the genome in a targeted way.
Seeing these different scientists talk about how common and frequent and constant till today the T7 technology is being used just really hits it home that what Studier has done is pretty critical to a huge swath of bioscience today. So I thought those were incredible.
I really appreciate the final talk because it was kind of like showing what you could really do outside of the norm with the T7.
I came to hear about the history of the system, how it was developed. I used the system, but I wasn't aware of the original development of the system, so that was the main reason I came here.
I thought the symposium was wonderful, particularly when you think about the kind of increasing convergence that T7 enables between computer science and between biology as we kind of get into a new kind of CRISPR era driven of biology, which would not have been possible at all without the terrific work that had been done by our winner this year.
It's one of these things where when you get to meet a scientific hero of yours, and then you realize that there's so many additional dimensions to them, that just they're a better and better and better person.
Technology drives new science, so it's a complicated web. And so to have a prize that is for technology is really a very worthy thing. And it's very perceptive of Richard Merkin to have a prize for technology.
The tools are every bit as important as what gets done with them. A prize that recognizes the tool makers is definitely an extremely interesting and good idea.
Finding people who've been able to have such an impact on our lives that we've never even heard of before. And now we know about them. And so, as was said by everybody today, this kind of recognition is absolutely essential, and that's what Dick Merkin is doing.
I think Dr. Merkin's looking over the horizon, and he will stimulate more breakthroughs of the type that Bill has been an example.
It was Bill's curiosity, his imagination, his logical mind, and his meticulous experimentation that led him to chase mysteries he saw in this simple phage and to turn what he learned into important technologies that we heard today.
I gotta say, in terms of philanthropists, they come from many, many different motivations, but very often the motivation is a specific disease in a family. And instead you said, no, what are the technologies that could transform things? Things that would have an impact across many, many diseases. Eli and Edie did that. You've done that. I know only a handful of people I've ever met who truly mean that.
I know there are people in this audience that don't want to change things 5%, but want to change things tenfold. And those are the people that will change the world. And Bill, we as a humanity need to acknowledge people like you. So thank you very much for all you do.
If Eli were here, he would be thrilled to see what Dick has done, and the award, I think it's wonderful. It's changing the world.